Hey everyone, let's recap today's trade on my journey to 100K, where I try to take $1,000 to $100,000 as fast as possible via day trading. Today was an awesome day. We're green on all the accounts we have going on, and on this challenge account, we are green as well. Done by 5 a.m. my time on West Coast feels very, very nice. Doesn't happen all the time, but let's share that trade with you guys now. The trade came across, the stock is actually FBIO, and it came across my scanner. Which scanner did it come across? This one right here. So this is called a running up scanner. This scanner is provided by Warrior Trading, and it's been very beneficial. So this running up scanner is I have it alerting me for any stocks out there that are squeezing up 5 or 10% within a certain time frame. And so FBIO shows right here, and it shows these little flames that you see here. This is showing some kind of news. So I didn't see any news on this right here. There's no news, but I wanted to check it anyway. The float is a little higher than what I like, 22 million. If you're new here, float is the supply, so the amount of shares that are available out there for the public to trade. And I prefer something that's a little bit lower float, maybe even definitely under 20 million, but anything under like 10 million, especially under 5 million, because if that supply is low, but then we have a lot of demand, then that stock has a chance to kind of run up. So the float was a little high, but this morning was tough because there was a lot of tickers. I mean, a lot that I could not trade on thinkorswim this morning, and it was really, really frustrating. And I did reach out to thinkorswim recently and ask them why. And this is actually the response I got. Let me see if I can pull that up real quick. See if I can pull this up. See how quick I can be. Can I be quick so I don't lose anyone? And right here. This is the response that I got from Charles Schwab when I asked them about why some of these tickers are getting rejected at thinkorswim. And she said, I gotcha, I just checked, and it's actually a Schwab policy. The firm has been reviewing different securities, and they get that message with no electronic entering online, needing a broker to place because of risk items they see with it. Among those are increased volatility, which day traders need, price swings, which we need as well, halts, which is just a nature of the business, or activity outside of normal trading. So I don't know. It's just been happening a lot, and I'll watch other guys making trades on other platforms and do really well, and so I certainly feel like I'm missing out. And it's going to take a couple weeks, I found out today, to get those things transferred over, but it'll happen eventually. Anyway, so we got this alert. And it didn't come up on my normal alerts over here on the left because it's not a low float stock. But I did click on it and see that there was actually news right here. And it reads, pull this open, a little news. Where are you? Right here. Fortress Biotech and something Therapeutics announces U.S. FDA approval for something, the first and only approved treatment for Menkes disease in the United States. Again, I'm not a medical professional here, obviously, but I do know that when we have some biotech news, when we have biotech news on a lower float stock, it can perform well. So I flip over and I get my eyes on it. Now I'll just make this screen a little bit bigger so you guys don't have to deal with this, but right here, maximize sell. There we go. Let's shrink this a little bit. Here we go. All right, so the scanner, it pops up on my scanner here, and I have a couple different scanners going, and it really, the first notification I got was on the Warrior Trader scanner. My Zendu scanner, which is a YouTube scanner, which is free, picked it up as well, just a little bit earlier on the Warrior Trading. The scanner, it pops up right here, and I'm waiting for a pullback. Now, we got a pretty good, so you can see all this volume, right? This is all volume. Right, we're over the MACD, so the blue line is over this tan line. Look at all this wonderful volume right here. So it rises up. It doesn't have a ton of volume. Like right here, look, this is the thousands, right? So we're only talking in this range here is like 20,000 volume. That's not a lot of volume. And so the spreads were wide. And so initially in this area, I decided not to take a trade. So technically this candle comes up and it actually dipped down right here, and then it climbed back up over the top of this candle. So I could have taken a trade right there, and I decided not to because the spreads, which is the difference between the bid and the ask. So right here, this is 460 and 464. Well, when I went to look at this stock, it was like, I don't know when I bought it. What I buy? Yeah, I bought it at 467. Originally, the spread was like 20 cents. So I don't want to risk 10%. So if I buy on the ask at 450 and the bid is 440 or 430, like if the stock doesn't take off and I have to get out, I already lost 20 cents a share. I can't do that. And so I was waiting for volume to creep in, and that's all based on liquidity. So once volume and money started coming into the stock, the spread got a little thinner, and I was paying attention. And so as soon as this candle right here crossed over the top of this, I went in, and I was sitting here watching that. And so I bought at 300 shares at 467. What time was this? Wait, you click that. Yeah, 447.05. When did I get out? 448. So I did let it hang around. Let's see here. This is at 472. Yeah, so at 467, I was trying to go for a 10-cent profit at a 5-cent risk. So I went in at 467. I said, okay, if it gets down to 462, I'm out. But I want to see it hit 477. And it climbs up to 477. And it actually was hovering right in this range at like 474, 475. And then it just bursted right up over 480, and I got out right away. I'm like, I only wanted 10 cents profit, but if it goes over 480, I am out instantly. And so I sold. The top of this candle actually was, what was the high of this candle? I can click, just so you know what I'm looking at. If I mouse over this candle, there's two ways I can see the high. I can put my mouse over the top of the candle. I can look over to the far right of my screen to see 493. Or I can just mouse over this and I can look up top. Right, 493 is what I see, but it'll go away. Right in here, I can see the high of that candle. It was 493. So I still had a few cents that I could have gotten there, but it happens so fast. Let's not do that yet. So the profit today on the challenge account is right here, $55.62. So that brings us to $1,438. We started at $1,000. We're up $438. We've got a 78% win rate, and we've done 13 days of trading. I'm very happy with how that has gone. Yesterday was unfortunate because we were profitable yesterday too. We just made a mistake and put it on the wrong account. But today we made sure I was on this challenge account before I made this trade. And we're up $55 and we're done. We were done by 5 a.m. West Coast time on all my trades. And because all the accounts I have are a cash account, so I can only trade my full buying power once a day, basically, because all my cash has to settle for the next day. Where you can have a margin account too, where you would trade. You could trade if you're under $25,000. It's called the PDT rule. You can trade up to day trade up to 3 times within a rolling 5-day period. That kind of hindered me. I didn't really like that, and so I switched to a cash account so that I could trade as much as I want within my buying power, which I think kind of makes sense. So once I'm done for the day, once I've used all my buying power on all my accounts, I'm done. And so today was 5 a.m. I'm very excited about that. I hope you guys learned something from this recap. It's been really wonderful to share these things with you, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day.